It shouldn't have been there. A ship drifting otherworldly through the fog. A ghost, not to be seen for another 50 years.
For centuries, sailors off the Kent coast have spoken of a ship that appears once every 50 years, faintly glowing through the fog before vanishing into the sea.
They call it the Lady Lovibond. The sinking of the Lady Lovibond is a sorrowful tale. On the 13th of February 1748, the ship was travelling the English Channel, bound for Faro, Portugal, carrying its newlywed captain, his wife, and their friends. But a jealous crew member, spurned by the captain's wife, struck out in anger. He attacked the crew at the wheel with a club and took control of the ship, and in bitter jealousy steered the ship into the treacherous Goodwin Sands, sending everyone aboard to a watery grave. Since that night, witnesses say the Lady Lovibond returns on the 50th anniversary of her sinking. In 1798, sailors swore they nearly collided with her. In 1848, a ship sent out a rescue party believing to have seen stranded voyagers, only to find nothing. In 1948, she was said to have been seen glowing a faint white light off in the distance.
The last sighting would have been in 1998, leaving people to wonder, would the legend hold true?
On February 13th, 1998, spectators gathered along the coast to see the ghost ship. But nothing appeared. So it leaves the question, is there actually a ghost? Well, there are many inconsistencies in the legend, and no historical evidence the ship ever sank. But there is a far more haunting truth to this tale.
Because I stand in front of the graveyard for up to 50,000 lost seamen and women, all dragged down by the great ship swallower. Sons, fathers, husbands, brothers, mothers, daughters and sisters, all lost to the ocean and buried in the sand.
The Goodwin Sands are notorious for shipwrecks, as you can see from this map. Thousands of vessels have met their end here over the centuries, and countless ghost sightings have been attributed to these treacherous waters. What makes them so dangerous is that the Goodwin Sands are not static. As a result of strong tides, they're constantly reforming and shifting around, making their location somewhat less predictable in one of the world's busiest shipping lanes. And when entered, the sands can act like quicksand, engulfing ships and people. As sands shift, vessels lost to the sands through history are constantly being uncovered and reappear, spitting out the victims. Early sailors relied heavily on luck to avoid the sands, but this was improved with the construction of lighthouses and the introduction of modern technology.
Perhaps the story of the Lady Lovibond was pure folk tales. Perhaps she only appears to some. Either way, there is a far more haunting and sombre reality to this tale in the thousands of lives lost to the Goodwin Sands.
And perhaps the reality is sometimes far darker than the folk tales.